Hi, if you're looking for straightforward, easy to follow Amazon KDP advice without the fluff, you're in the right place. In today's video, which is part of a free series, I'll be reviewing real books from our author community on Amazon, highlighting what's working well, pointing out the areas that could be improved, and sharing practical tips along the way. The goal is to help authors strengthen their listings, reach more readers, and increase book sales. So let's dive right into today's video. And just quickly, in case you're new to the channel, Cleo and I have sold over 240,000 books between our different Amazon KDP accounts. We also have a free Facebook group with 230,000 members in it. And with our self-publishing Titans tools, we have helped over 300,000 authors publish their books on Amazon. So that's just a little bit about us. And let's do the first book review here. All right, so this book is from Amazon Canada and currently not getting any sales. So let's see what we can do to help this person out. So looking at the cover looks beautiful. I love the colors, I like the design. So there's not really anything I would change about that. And just one thing I want to quickly say, if you're watching this video and you have any advice or input or opinions, put them down in a comment below because they might also be helpful for the author that is watching this video. So let's make this an interactive video from now on. Okay, so the cover is definitely not the problem. The cover is great, high quality. So let's look at the title here. So a 365-day devotional for women, daily inspiration to strengthen your soul all through the year. Sixfold Grace, a devotional journey across languages. So the title looks clean. There's no spam words or duplicate words really. So that's really good. Well done on that. What I do see missing here is your main keyword, your long tail keyword that you're trying to rank for. So that's one thing that's really causing you not to have sales. So when looking for keywords, we can always use our Titans Pro Chrome extension. The way it works is you type something in and then we will show you all of these Amazon search suggestions. In case you're new to the channel, you can download this by going to the Chrome store and typing in self-publishing Titans and then downloading this one. This one is our latest extension, which basically combined our two previous extensions into one. And we also are adding on all the latest tools and add-ons and stuff like that, which is all going in there. So devotional coloring book, devotional Bible study, daily devotional books, daily devotional for men. So that keyword is good. We can see it has an opportunity of 9, domain score of 5, a estimated monthly search volume of 4,000, and only 3,700 competitors. So this would be an exact match that you could have in the title. Obviously, this is for women, but this is just an example I'm showing just to show you how to niche down. And then if you can, always good to have the exact match in your title or subtitle. And if that's not possible, definitely putting those in your 7 backend keywords. So that's the one thing I would change with your title is just having actual main keywords that people are searching for. Otherwise, you did a great job in the title, well put together. So let's look at your description. So the description is really long, so great job for adding so much text. So we have a lot of bullet points. We have about 5 here and then maybe another 10, 15 or something down below. So that's a bit too many bullet points, but I do like the enthusiasm. What I would recommend is just having 5 main bullet points and then putting them just below this line right here. And these other bullet points, maybe some of them you can be combined or just more into paragraphs. And then I would probably remove some of these icons just because it looks slightly AI written. I'm not saying it is, but ChatGPT kind of uses those kind of icons sometimes. So I'll probably get rid of those. Maybe you can leave 1 or 2, just have a little bit of a nice touch, but so many I don't think I would have. But I do see here that you have a call to action at the end. So great job for thinking about that. So let's look at the rest of your listing. Okay, so here I'm looking for your A+ content, and unfortunately I don't see any. It looks like you published this back in June, so if you did have A+ content, it would probably show. So I highly encourage you to have A+ content, and I would even have some big screenshots in your A+ content about your book, so a person can see what kind of interior pages they're looking at. I think that would go really well just to help sell the book so a person can see what they're going to get out of this book and how they might use it and what it's all about. And then maybe you can share some quotes or some facts about the book, just make it even more interesting, but definitely highly recommend you have some pages showing the interior of the book. Great job for having an image, and then great job for having a description here. So it's really well done. Let's also look at your categories here. So inspirational ebooks, Christian women's issues, inspirational spirituality. So it looks like you did a good job on finding suitable categories. Let's just quickly take a look at your competitors. So you can see here that you got a score of 55. So not too bad. Our Titans AI tool definitely thinks pretty good about your listing, but obviously the closer to 100 it is, the better. But great job for getting past 50. So that's the first milestone. So looking at your cover here, I would think that your cover stands out much more than these other covers. So once again, I think your cover is definitely not the reason you're not getting sales, and you did a great job on that. But this is just a great tool that one can use just to see how your book compares to competitors. Yeah, so I think the main thing you're not getting sales is just the keywords. You did great on pretty much everything else. So I hope that helps. With a Kindle book, you can obviously make some changes to the title, but unfortunately with your paperback and hardcover, you can't. And these prices are obviously slightly higher due to rising costs, but maybe it's also possible to reduce the page count for a second edition and then reducing the costs. That would also just make it easier for buyers to want to buy your book. And just one more thought for you, since this is for women. If you haven't done this already, you can also make one for men. You can also make a general one. You could make one for girls or for kids. You could kind of have a little bit of a series going on. So that's one more thought I have for you, but I wish you the best of luck, and let's do the next one here. So here we can see that this book right here is currently unavailable. So I don't know if it was submitted because of a mistake or lack of sales, but since this was submitted, we are going to look at this, and I think it'll be insightful for all the people watching. So this looks like is a high content book. So let's see. The cover looks quite interesting. I like the artwork. I also like the text and the font placement. So overall, I think it's quite good. Let's look at your title and subtitle. So the subconscious shift. So that sounds quite interesting. I like that it gives kind of like a bit of a mystery to what the book is about, but it definitely creates interest. And then the subtitle is From Self-Protection to Self-Love. So that's also pretty good. Maybe slight keywords. Obviously with high content books, it's a little bit harder to have actual long tail kind of keywords in your title and subtitle. So for these kinds of books, it's very, very important to have a very strong 7 backend keywords. And for that, I would recommend having really long tail keywords that suit your book. And then if there's space at the end of the 7 keyword slots, adding in additional keywords, single words that would make sense for your book. That'd be what I would do personally. Looking at your description here, looks like you really went to town on this. Nice and long. The main thing that's missing here is just some brief bullet points. I would just figure out what would be the 5 most important things a potential buyer should know. So if you're trying to sell your book to a person, what would be the first 5 things you would tell that person? And then that could be your bullet points. Here I don't see any A+ content, so that's definitely a miss. Especially for these kinds of books, you could show some characters or show some quotes of the book or something like that, just something that would be interesting for a reader. And then we also don't have any reviews. So with high content books, it would be even more important to have reviews. So if anyone's struggling to get advanced reader copies, you can check out our brand new service, and that could help you get your first potential readers and reviews. So that's a quick recap. The main thing I would change here is just improving the description, adding A+ content, and then having reviews. Okay, so let's go on to the next one. So here we have the next book. So this book has a bestseller rank of 2 million and currently not getting any sales. Looking at the cover looks interesting, but I guess the main thing that stands out is that's really white and kind of blends with the background. Let's quickly look at our Titans AI tool to see what our recommendation is from our AI. And here we can also see that this listing has a score of only 28. So unfortunately a little bit low, but it just makes sense that we're not getting sales just yet. This is always a good indicator. Okay, so on the improvement here, it says the title placement and capitalization creates some confusion and reduce readability, especially the subtitle and additional text blends together without clear hierarchy. I'm guessing it's talking about all the text on the bottom maybe. And then it says the presence of phrases like improved money management at the bottom further dilutes focus and relevance to the wardrobe theme. I guess that makes sense. And the opportunity here, it says refocus the cover by clarifying and emphasizing the main title and subtitle to ensure the core promise is immediately clear, removing unrelated elements and possibly introducing a simple, elegant wardrobe-related icon or image could increase visual impact and genre clarity, making the cover more compelling at thumbnail size. So just some tips from our AI. I think it's all good, and I would definitely try a different color that kind of pops more. I guess we can also look at the competitors quickly. I don't know if there's any that are very similar to your book, but let's just see. Okay, so as we can see here, the cover kind of fully blends in. The only thing that really stands out is the text here and the image, but even at a small thumbnail size, one can't read the text. So when comparing to these other covers, we'll notice that the text is really big. So almost all of them, you can read the text even at thumbnail size. So I think that's one great takeaway that we can learn for your book, is that a person won't know what the book is about because it's just too small. So I hope that is already insightful for you. So that would be one of the main reasons you're probably not getting clicks for your listing. But let's look at your title. How to look effortlessly polished every day with just 20 essential pieces. A fashion guide, get dressed affordably, improve money management, guide to fashion Kindle edition. Okay, so it definitely feels like you try to get good keywords in there and make it clear what the book is about. So I like the effort that you put into this. My main thing here is also that I don't know what the main keyword is. So if you're trying to get organic sales from Amazon, what would be something that someone would type into Amazon to want to find this book and buy this book? So that's the one thing I'm not clear about. Maybe fashion guide could be a keyword, but once again, I would suggest using Titans Pro just to get more search suggestions and better keywords. So fashion guide here, we can see the search volume is really high, but the opportunity is low. So demand is there, but the opportunity not as much. Fashion guide for teens, so that's already looking better. Here we have an opportunity of 9 and demand of 7. Fashion guide for girls, fashion guide book, a little bit better, opportunity of 4, but ideally we have something 5 here, fashion guide for women, for girls. So yeah, so it looks like teens, girls, and women is all great keywords for that. So that would be a bit of a miss of not having that in your title and subtitle. So that's one thing that I would change. And since this is only a Kindle ebook, you could change the Kindle title and subtitle, perfect that a little bit. And then once you have a better title and subtitle, also create a paperback version that will also help you get more sales and more exposure on Amazon. So definitely have both formats. That would be another big tip I can give you. So let's look at your description. So the first thing I see here is that we have double spaces right here and then here. So there's a lot of wasted empty space where a user can't read more. So if we didn't have double spaces, then a user can read much more already. So what I would do is get rid of those double spaces and then put your main 5 bullet points just below that. I would probably remove these check marks and these icons here. This looks a little bit repetitive and too much. I think it will look a bit cleaner and nicer without those. But other than that, that's fine. And then I like that you have a call to action here, so good job for that. And then here, I don't see any A+ content. And you did publish this a couple months ago now, so it should be there already. So I highly recommend you have some A+ content, and maybe you can share some fashion guides or some cool images from the book, or some tips on dressing. Maybe just tease them a little bit of the tips they can learn, the things they can see, just to really make a person want to buy your book. I think that could do really, really well. Good job for having a branded image here, but then let's also add your author description here. That will also make it even more professional, and then we don't have any reviews. So once again, you definitely want to get reviews on your book. Really, really important, especially as Amazon keeps getting more and more competitive. So you can check out our art review service or another's, whatever you think will be best for you, but definitely try to get at least a few reviews. But yeah, I think you have a cool book. I like the idea. It sounds really creative and kind of niche. So I think there is potential. I think we just need to slightly update the cover and then just improve the title a bit. And I think you could do quite well. All right, so I hope that helps, and let's check the next one here. So here we have another book from Canada. Unfortunately, it has not gotten even a single sale yet. So let's see what the reason for that is. So looking at the cover, the cover looks really nice. My only thing would be the placement of that is not really the best and kind of looks like an afterthought. So it feels like the background was created first without thinking about the text. So it doesn't really kind of suit together. So I would see if we can improve that somehow. And then also just adding in your author name at the bottom. And then I noticed that the feet here cut off. Not really a huge deal, but it would just look nicer if there wasn't anything cut off and a little bit more completed overall. Okay, looking at your price quickly, I see it's $9.05. So it's a little bit of an odd price that won't affect your conversion rate much, but a $8.99 just sounds better, sounds lower, and really won't hurt you too much. Okay, so let's look at your title here. So Bible verses, coloring book for kids, fun and easy scripture coloring pages to learn God's word. So I like that you have a decent sized title and subtitle. I also like that you have some keywords in here like Bible verse coloring book for kids. So it sounds like you did your research on that. And then we also have coloring pages, trying to have a slight variation. So good thinking for that. So overall, I like it. We have Bible, we have verses, God, scriptures, a lot of religious keywords. So I think you did quite well on that. So your title is probably not the main problem, which usually it is. So one thing to really look at for your book is probably just the cover, making it look just a bit nicer, a little bit more professional and crisp overall. And then your 7 backing keywords. Since you've gotten no sales and your cover is not terrible and your title is actually pretty decent, I would suspect that there might be something wrong with your 7 backing keywords. If you don't know how to do your 7 backing keywords, you can also check our 7 backing keywords tool that we have, and it will give you all the best suggestions for you. So maybe that would be helpful for you. And then the one slight critique about your description is that one can't see the bullet points without reading more. So that's something you definitely want to always have before the button finishes. So I would just move that higher just below here. And I think that will be better. Okay, I also don't see any A+ content. So for a coloring book, that's super, super important. Probably one of the most important books to have your A+ content for. And here you just want to show your coloring pages so a person can see what kind of pages they are and if it's suitable for them or not. So that's probably another reason they're not buying your book, because we don't have any preview images at the top, like the back of your cover, and then we don't have any A+ content. So no one can actually see what kind of coloring pages this is. So this might actually be the biggest reason you're not getting sales, because no one knows what kind of book it is and they'd rather not spend $9 when they can't see the interior pages. So I would say that's the #1 most important point for you. And then second to that would be your 7 backing keywords. Third most important would be just improving the cover, and then your bullet points higher up. All right, so I hope that this is useful for you. If you want to see more of these and kind of make it into a daily show and drink a cup of coffee or tea, make sure to subscribe. And if you want to support the channel, leave a like and leave a comment. That always makes me happy and encourages me. And then I'll see you in tomorrow's video. Bye.